Hey people, how's it going? We've got less than a week until the launch of Destiny Rising, which means you've only got a week left to plan out how you're going to tackle all the content my fellow creators and I have been talking about for months now. It's always good before we cross that threshold to have an idea of, what you're looking for, so today we're going to break it down. I'm Automaton Zero, and this is your Destiny Rising character breakdown. If you've ever played a hero shooter like Overwatch or maybe Apex Legends, you're likely familiar with the basics. Heroes are the characters you choose to approach the activities available. Unlike games like Destiny 2, where you make your own character, set your own abilities, and choose your own weapons, Destiny Rising allows you to select specific characters, each with their own ability kit, super, and available weapon archetypes. Unlike in Destiny 2, characters in Destiny Rising come in one of two rarities, Legendary and Mythic, and each utilizes specific weapons rather than allowing for equipping any weapon in a weapon slot. Weapons come in two flavors, Primary and Heavy. Primary weapons have infinite ammo, while heavy weapons have limited ammo reliant on ammo drops to replenish said ammo. There are 14 heroes either coming on day 1 go live on August 28th or sometime within the first season of the 1.0 patch, and each has their own combination of weapons, damage type, and kits. So how will you know who to choose from? Well, let's break it down. Destiny Rising assigns characters a damage type, a combat style, and a category. Damage type is the shield damage the character applies to enemies when utilizing abilities from their kits. In traditional Destiny nature, damage comes in three flavors: Arc, Solar, and Void. Combat style is a simplified explanation of your chosen character's relevant engagement range. This also comes in one of three types, including close range, medium range, and long range. Lastly is the categories. That defines the character's role in the team. These also come in three different types, including support, offense, and defense. Support focuses on healing, buffing, and debuffing. Offense specializes in damage and engagement with enemies, and defense focuses on protecting teammates and themselves and ensuring the team's longevity in the activity. Every character will be classified into one of these three areas. Wolf, the default main character of the game for example, is a medium-range solar offense character. This means he can output a lot of solar engagement DPS through his kit at close to medium range, and his corresponding weapons will also align with that range. In his case, auto rifle primaries and grenade launcher heavies. In addition to weapons, each character will also have their own relic which will play into their super and other abilities, but I'll have more on that a little later. Now that we've gotten the groundwork laid for how characters are classified, let's break down all 13 of the known kits and give an honorable mention at the end to the incoming number 14. You can break a character's full kit into several sections: Relic, Super, Signature Ability 1, Signature Ability 2, Passive, Weapon Mastery, and Traits. Some of these items are unavailable to players until they develop the character through leveling and resource investment, but I intend to mention everything except for the character traits in this video. To get things started, let's first and foremost go over the three legendary characters we're receiving for free as part of the main campaign: Wolf, Kabr, and Ikora. Wolf is a solar medium-range offense character who uses auto rifles and grenade launchers as his weapon of choice. His relic is the aptly named Wolf's Howl Sword, which all abilities in his kit are centered around. His signature ability 1 is Wolf's Strike, which propels him forward and damages any enemies in his path. In addition, final blows fully refund the ability. His second signature ability is Wolf's Flames, which is a ranged AoE solar attack that applies Wolf's Ignition to any enemies it hits. His super is Wolf's Butchery, which is a roaming damage super that builds up lupine nature and grants allies Wolf's Dash, increasing their speed. His passive is Wolf's Awakening, which causes lupine nature to build up over time and enhances Wolf's Strike and provides shield when the stacks are full. His weapon mastery ability is Wolf's Combustion, which states that shots on scorched targets deal bonus solar damage. Kabr is an arc medium-range defense character who uses pulse rifles and machine guns. His relic, Thunder Shield, specializes in barrier play and blinding and bears a resemblance to the Aegis from Destiny's Vault of Glass. His signature ability 1 is Resistor Barricade. Kabr creates a protective barrier that enemies can't shoot through but allies can. His second signature ability is Blinding Shield, which is a ranged attack where Kabr launches an overshielded opponents that damages and blinds enemies on contact. His super is Voltaic Slam, a roaming super that allows Kabr to fire a Storm Shield beam, blind, and also launch follow-up shield strikes. His passive is Home Court, which regenerates health on blinding targets and grants him +5 movement speed, while his weapon mastery skill is Safeguard, Lightning, which empowers any and all weapon shots fired from behind his barrier to apply chain lightning to enemies. Ikora is a void medium-range offense character who uses breech-load grenade launchers and rocket launchers as her weapons of choice. Her relic is the Ranged Star, and it's excellent for confinement and crowd control. Her first signature ability is Gemini Satellite, which shoots out 2 independently tracking satellites that explode on contact. Her second ability is Gravitational Collapse, which pulls enemies in with damage over time and applies Confine to mobs. Her super is Nova Bomb, a large high-damage explosive projectile that deals massive damage to enemies on contact. Her passive ability is Mass Accretion, which boosts her ability recharge by up to 20% and grants +5 movement speed, while her weapon mastery skill is Neutron Rebirth, which grants stacks from blasts that then modify heavy weapon shots into tracking satellites. Now moving on to the units acquired through events or pulling, we've come to the real meat of the video, the premium characters. Since these characters are attained through various methods and not given to the player as part of the campaign or game progress, I'll be mentioning their acquisition source as well at the end. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start by covering the legendary Lightbearers before moving on to the mythic ones. Attal is an arc medium-range support character who uses hand cannons and linear fusion rifles as her weapons of choice. Her relic, Mint, is skilled at healing, recovery, and blinding. Her first signature ability, Arc Missile, shoots out a ricocheting arc projectile that blinds targets. Her second ability is Mint Mend, which instantly heals a specified ally. Her super is Song of Faith, which allows her to levitate and fire out bird-shaped projectiles at enemies. If you unlock her Song of Peace trait, then using her super will also grant healing to any and all allies within a 6-meter radius for a 20-second duration at a rate of 96 health per second. Her passive is actually linked to her melee attack. By using a melee attack aimed at a nearby ally, Attal can send Mint to heal her ally for 80 health per second. Her weapon mastery builds Stacks of Tranquility, which, when full, insert mini-missiles into her weapons via reload animation, and grants her a +5% movement speed. In the beta, she was available as a standard draw character as well as through a $1 event ticket that granted her after 7 days of login. Finnala is a solar close-range defense character who uses auto rifles and swords as her weapons. Her relic, Mott, excels in recovery, damage resistance, and crowd control. Her first ability is Fury Flames, which makes her leap and spin with her relic, dealing heavy solar damage and causing an instant kill on any scorched enemies. Her second ability is Blazing Barrier, which creates a protective area around Finnala that halves the damage values of all incoming ranged damage and scorches any and all enemies unlucky enough to be within her zone's range. Her super is Reaper's Descent, which is a prolonged solar spinning attack that inflicts scorch to enemies and draws aggro. Her passive ability is Ember of Tempering, which spawns a fire sprite on scorched kills and grants a +5% movement speed boost. Her weapon mastery, Fiery Empowerment, applies extra scorch stacks when her Blazing Barrier is active. In the North American beta, she was available as a draw character from all banners, but in the Chinese beta, she was also available as an event reward alongside another hero, Xuan Wei. Speaking of, Xuan Wei is an arc, close-range, offensive character who uses fusion rifles and shotguns as his weapons of choice. His relic, Tiger's Wrath, excels in damage, crowd control, and self-sustain. His first ability is a grappling hook that brings enemies into a close range with Xuan Wei. His second ability is Shoulder Charge ability that has a knockback effect on enemies. His super is Juggernaut's Dominance, which is a roaming super in which Xuan Wei slashes enemies and deals massive arc damage. Xuan Wei is pullable from all banners during the North American beta, but during the Chinese beta he was also available as an event reward alongside Finnala. Umeko is a void long-range support character who uses scout rifles and sniper rifles as her weapons of choice. Her relic, Ayakiba, specializes in healing, ally vulnerability mitigation, and confinement. Her first skill creates an area of effect around her that turns herself and any allies inside of it invisible. Her second ability throws a small shuriken that applies spite entanglement to enemies that it hits. Her super is Singularity Shuriken, where Umeko throws Ayakiba at an enemy, creating a singularity that deals damage over time and pulls enemies into the blast. In the North American beta, Umeko was a raid-up legendary character who dropped alongside Estelle's mythic banner, at which point she was also added to the legendary character roster in the standard banner draw area as well. Now that we've gotten through the legendaries, it's time for the moment you've all likely been waiting for, the mythic characters. These are the cream of the crop, the banner characters, the 5 stars, the big ticket heroes. While there's really not a specific difference between legendary and mythic class heroes in this game, as everyone has their own role to fill as well as their own kits, some of them can be a bit easier to target, since the mythics will be the banner characters you'll pull for using special edition Bon Voyage charms. Without further ado, let's talk about the mythic heroes. Tan2 is a solar long-range support character, available in the standard banner. His weapons of choice are scouts and sniper rifles. His artifact is Parhelion Wing, which excels in healing, ally damage boosting, and team recovery. His first ability is Sunset, which, depending on his current flare state, could have one of 2 different effects. In Dawnstar, he'll throw a ball of light that heals allies, while in Duskstar, he will throw a damaging fireball with damage scaling based on his flare count. His second ability is Twilight Shift, which allows him to switch between Dawnstar and Duskstar states. His super is Blessing of Light, which also has a different effect depending on his state as well. In both states, he creates an area of effect around his sword placement, which he slams into the ground, but in Dawnstar, the area heals ally targets, and in Duskstar, it instead boosts outgoing ally damage. His passive ability is Flare, where dealing scout rifle damage hits grant +3 flare and sniper rifle grants +16. A fully charged flare enhances the next sunrise or sunset that's cast. His weapon mastery skill is Phosphorus, where casting an enhanced sunset or sunrise will grant the Phosphorus state for 8 seconds, boosting his damage. Leveling up his Phoenix trait will not only have Phosphorus boost your outgoing solar damage, but also heal Tan2 for 240 HP a second. Tan2 is available in the standard character banner pool of mythic heroes and is highly sought after and a super meta pick. Ning Fei is an arc, close-range offensive character wielding SMGs and crossbows. His relic, Li Gong, specializes in recovery, damage resistance, and suppression. With his first ability, Side Trick, Ning Fei dodges, creating a clone in his place and making him invisible and drawing aggro to the clone. The summoned clone continuously launches Chain Lightning, and being in close proximity to a clone grants Ning Fei improved movement speed and damage resistance. Clones can also sustain damage and heal, however there is a limit to how many active clones can be on the field at any given time. His second ability, Lightning Strike, sees Ning Fei leap into the air and slam down on enemies, dealing arc damage and inflicting suppression. If there are clones on the field when Ning Fei uses this ability, they also replicate the ability. His super is Arts of Staff, which is a roaming arc super that automatically reflects incoming projectiles and allows Ning Fei to unleash a barrage of arc melee attacks that trigger chain lightning and enhance damage dealt by clones while active. His passive ability is Dance of Sparks, which makes chain lightning applied by Ning Fei and his clones also apply arc disarray for 8 seconds. His weapon mastery grants him 6 arc overload stacks when he uses any ability. Like Tan2 before him, Ning Fei is also a standard banner mythic character and thus can be pulled from the standard banner. Maru is a void medium-range offensive character with a breach-load grenade launchers and heavy grenade launchers as her weapons of choice. Her relic, Tahora, specializes in crowd control, AoE, knockback, and overshield. Her first signature ability is Annihilation Blast, which fires a cannonball that deals damage and knocks back enemies. If her resonance is built up to at least 50%, the cannonball splits into 3 smaller shells. Her second ability is Abyss Engulf, which creates a vortex barrier at her cannon's muzzle that converts incoming bullets and explosive energy into an overshield with better size and duration for the shield, scaling for better resonance stack percentage. Her super is Blight Volley, a super state where she rapidly fires explosive energy projectiles from her cannon, with resonance further increasing the cannon's firing performance and damage in real time. Her passive is Collapse, which states that dealing or absorbing damage with the collapsing cannon generates resonance, which powers up Maru's abilities. Resonance fades more quickly if Maru loses health or shields. Her weapon mastery ability is Blast Resonance. Once resonance is at least 50%, light to heavy grenade launcher shots split into 3 void element shells, each dealing 40% of the main projectile's original damage value. Maru is the only mythic hero to appear in the alpha but not in the beta. However, during the alpha, she was attainable from the standard draw pool, which would make sense for her to be attainable if she's in the game from the standard pool now. Jolder is a void close-range defense character wielding SMGs and swords as her weapons of choice. Her relic, Ursa Major, excels in overshields, suppression, aggro, and healing. Her first ability is Shield of Starlight, which allows her to throw her shield into a crowd of enemies and deal damage as it ricochets and accumulates starlight. Recalling the shield converts the accumulated starlight into an overshield for her. Her second ability is Skyfall Slam, which sees Jolder leap into the air and slam down with her shield, drawing enemy aggro, inflicting suppression, and increasing the rage generated. Her super ability is Barrier of Starlight, which deploys a spherical shield that blocks enemy projectiles, but allows ally projectiles to pass through, and grants a powerful overshield to allies inside of it. Her passive ability is Thorns, which builds rage when attacked or when her barrier is hit. Using Skyfall Slam converts rage into healing over an 8-second period, with higher rage generating faster healing. Overflow healing will apply to Overshield if it's active as well. Her weapon mastery, Mayhem Star, allows her to build up stacks of Retribution to a max of 10 when she or her barrier are attacked. Each stack gains 15% weapon damage. Sword attacks consume 1 stack per hit, while other weapons consume 1 stack per 10 hits. In the beta, Jolder was a standard banner character. Gwynn is a void close-range offensive character whose weapons of choice are the akimbo sidearms and shotguns. Her relic, Verdict, specializes in overshield, self-recovery, and damage resistance. Her first ability is Soul Assault. After a small delay, Gwynn blinks forward to a target and deals AoE damage and suppresses the enemy. Her second ability is Void Dance, which is a spinning AoE attack that heals her, damages enemies, and releases any acquired or nearby void spirits. Her super, Soul Harvest, summons Verdict, allowing Gwynn to roam and slash enemies dealing void damage, and generates and stores void spirits from any and all final blows. Her passive ability is Energy Severance, where final blows generate void spirits on a 1-second cooldown. Her weapon mastery skill, Penetrating Shot, states that hitting the same target with 15% sidearm or 50% shotgun bullets shatters their soul, creating void souls. Gwynn was the first banner character in both the alpha and the beta, and there will not seem to be a change in plans now. She'll be the first special banner character in Release 1.0 available to pull with limited edition Bon Voyage charms. Estelle is a solar long-range offensive character whose weapons of choice are pulse rifles and machine guns. Her relic, Spiteful Whisper, is a summon that specializes in disabling enemy healing and assisting. Her first ability, Bewitched Illusion, allows her to summon an illusion whose power scales with her corruption stacks. Her second ability, Misfortune's Guide, applies misfortune to enemies, which marks them as targets for illusions and increases the damage that they take from said illusions. Her super, Violent Reverie, summons a beam-firing phantom entity that continuously attacks enemies with a contaminating beam. Her passive, Contamination, builds corruptions via weapon hits. Higher corruption spawns illusions. Her weapon mastery skill is Distorted Desires, which states hits on afflicted enemies trigger accidents, plus damage plus corruption. Kills generate extra corruption. Like Gwynn, Estelle was a special banner character during the beta. She ran about 3 weeks after Gwynn alongside Umeko, who was a raid-up character on her banner, making her the second half banner character in the 1.0 patch, if the situation remains the same. During the alpha, Estelle was a standard banner character, so really it could go either way, but it's most likely that she'll be the next banner character to run after Gwynn. Now that we've discussed every character except for one at length, it's time to understand why you would want these characters, aside from their character designs and their playstyles, of course. While I'm a big advocate for choosing your characters based on fun factors, there are some challenges in the game that make you rethink your approach to combat. Enemies will have elemental shields that will shatter pretty quickly when hit with their matching damage type, but they take a lot of effort to chew through with non-matching damage. Checking the shield types before an activity is important to planning how to approach conquering it. But shield types aren't the only consideration to factor in. This game has an advanced class of enemies that require additional planning besides type matching to tackle. I'm talking about Shinkas. Shinkas are enemies that come in one of 4 flavors: piercing, rapid fire, spread, and impact, and require a specific set of weapons to deal with. A piercing Shinka, for example, is weak to scout rifles, sniper rifles, and swords. While you can use other weapons to break these special enemy shields, it's extremely difficult and time-consuming, which in later in-game content can really hurt your times. Before starting an activity, it's important to pay attention particularly to the Shinkas in the activity, as well as the shield types. Each character should have at least one gun of every element in Legendary and Mythic, so there shouldn't be a concern. But you wouldn't, for example, want to run Ning Fei in a mission with solar shields and spread Shinkas. For something like that, Wolf, who's a solar damage dealing through his abilities and has a grenade launcher for spread Shinkas, would be the far superior choice. To cover the Shinkas you may encounter in the game, piercing Shinkas are weak to piercing weapons such as snipers, swords, and scout rifles. Rapid-fire Shinkas are weak to rapid-fire weapons such as autos, SMGs, crossbows, and machine guns. Spread Shinkas are weak to spread-out damage weapons like grenade launchers and rocket launchers. And impact Shinkas are weak to weapons with a lot of impact such as fusion rifles and shotguns. These enemy types and shields will be present in a lot of in-game activities, and so will require a lot of attention and consideration when planning out which character and weapons to use on a run. I'll cover more of that leading up to release next week when I put out my weapons video, but for now, I really wanted to highlight why someone may choose a specific hero over another hero. The reason being, this game is pretty well balanced, and for the most part, Legendary kits don't feel any less strong in comparison to Mythic character kits. Umeko and Wolf were 2 of the best characters in the beta, and both of them are Legendary heroes, so that's saying something. Especially given that most gacha games make their 4-star characters suboptimal to encourage spending on the 5 stars. This is one gacha game where I can honestly say it's not necessary, and all of the characters that the game gives you are fine for tackling just about everything the game has to offer, including in-game content. But if you like the design, playstyle, or weapon options on another character, you always have the option to engage the pool system to try and get them. This game has no 50-50 system and has a 60 pool pity with a constant escalating pool chance. I play a lot of gacha games, and this one has, by and large, one of the most fair gacha systems I've ever seen in the genre, if I'm being completely honest. You may be thinking, wait, didn't he say there were 14 heroes? Well, if you stuck around the video this long and still remembered that, your memory is better than mine. But yes, I did say there were 14. My friend Virus, channel link down in the description, go show him some love please, broke the news last week that during the Chinese beta an extra character and description was actually spotted. The character appears to be a warlock-looking exo who he discovered is named Rossi 11. In a recommended companions window, it was revealed the characters shown were suitable for characters who can, quote-unquote, grant overshields, and specifically mentions Jolder, Maru, and Rossi 11. Further, the damage icon on Rossi 11's picture is arc. Therefore, we know he's going to be an arc character who can grant overshields. And that's all we know for certain right now. I've got some theories on what the specifics of his kit will be, but if you want to hear those, you'll just have to join us on August 27th when Virus, myself, Callum, and several other creators come together again for the second time to do a second podcast-style video where we discuss what we're hoping to see for launch and beyond, and generally just hype everything up ahead of the game's go-live. If that's something that interests you, feel free to subscribe to my channel, as I'm planning to make a lot of content just like this to help get people acclimated to Destiny Rising, blow up in-game content, gotcha mechanics, and share my joy or frustration at the amount of luck RNGesus chooses to bless me with on launch day. In the meantime, tell me, who are you gonna pull down in the comments section? Anyone in particular stick out for you? Anyways, I'm Automaton, thanks for watching, and
see you tomorrow!